iPad.
We're back at Deck Expo for round 2. Welcome back to the Ultimate Deck Podcast, live from Decorators booth, Louisville, 2019. This is going to be a fun one. We got a bunch of Decorators Pros sitting at the booth today. Justin, why don't you introduce everybody? You know them the best.
Oh, yeah, I know all of them. I know Leif.
We got Leif from Cascade Deck and Fence. Deck and Fence or Fence and Deck?
Fence and Deck.
Fence and Deck.
We've got Joe Hagen from All Decked Out, and we have Sean Collins-Gru.
Yeah, that was pretty close, yeah.
Close enough, right?
From Premier Outdoor Living.
Close enough, eh?
9:30 on the second day of the show, that's close enough.
There's a lot of hardware sitting at this table that you guys cleaned up with last night, hey?
Yeah.
Joe?
Joe Hagen got the most. He got quite a few there.
I got 2. I was lucky to get 2. Very happy about that.
Good.
What did you win?
Hold on, did he tie for first place? Or
But
is that...
it was a tie. I don't know how they have a tie.
How do you have ties?
Exactly, but we
Pick
tied.
a winner.
Hey, I'll take it. It's still first place.
It's like the new PC.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like
a shootout.
you showed up. Here's your medal.
Yep.
So, what did you win for?
The first category was open roof, and then the second one was deck remodel, basically existing deck transformation.
Sweet. Good
Nice.
job.
2 out of the 85 that you submitted is not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. You just played the sheer odds on that one,
Yeah.
eh?
Sean, did
Good.
you win one as well?
Sean, yeah.
Second place. Not as
For
cool,
what?
but alternative deck, 25 to 50,000, I think. Yeah.
Good job.
Nice.
That was some timber tech on that one, right? That was the inlay. Wolf?
Yeah.
Wolf
yeah.
on that deck?
Close.
Not decorators.
Yeah. So that's pretty good, though, when you're up in a category against a bunch of other jobs that actually cost $100,000.
I know, yeah.
So,
I'm going to enter everything in the under $10 category next year. I'm hoping to clean up.
Yeah. How'd you build that? I wrote most of it off. It was like
Charity.
kind of damaged and stuff. I just made do with what I could. So
yeah.
you think
So-
you're... Yeah, go ahead.
How's the show been? Joe, you had a chance to kind of
Been
walk
great.
around?
Yeah, just great to get to meet other guys, like-minded guys out there, and it's been fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Some dirty minds out there, too.
Yeah,
eh?
that's
Bunch
true.
of dirty old men in this industry.
Met a few of them.
Seen anything at the show here that you kind of excited about?
Yeah, a lot of this Decorators, they have new products, the multi-width boards. That's exciting to us because we can do all kinds of cool inlays with it and different border work. So I'm excited about the new colors and the new multi-width boards.
Yeah. And you guys have all used some Decorators already, or you're planning to, or?
Yeah, we switched to Decorators probably about 2 years when they came out with vault decking.
Okay.
It's kind of when we made the switch, and we've kind of been full steam ahead with Decorators since then. We love it.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, you guys are kind of the Decorators A team or something here, right? You guys all kind of Decorators Pro, learn to love the product.
And I don't really, when I sell a product, I kind of give our clients options. So it's really, I just kind of explain the pros and cons of different products, and really our customers are the one making the selection. So, I'm not brand loyal. I believe in there's different products for different situations, but we sell it probably 95% of the time.
Yeah, you're like, do you want this board here, which is beautiful and a good bang for your buck, or do you want this other stuff that people will judge you on, and if you really care what people think and you need to save money because you can't afford your bills, then there's this option too.
Yeah.
I find that works for you.
Yeah.
Leif, how about you? Where are you guys from?
From Vancouver, Washington, which is basically right in Portland, Oregon. So I'd say about 60% of our work is in Portland.
Right on.
Okay.
And you
Long
guys,
ways west.
You guys run quite a few crews. You got a few crews.
There's 6 crews, 7 crews, depending on the time of year. This year has been more focused on kind of stability, and then hopefully next year we can branch out a little bit. So kind of some slow growth is our plan. But
yeah, slow growth is a good plan, right?
Yeah,
That's so much better than there's like insanity, failure, start over.
yeah, exactly.
And you're off the tools for the most part, or you still get out there yourself and put decks together, or are you just kind of managing crews?
Mainly managing. We have a couple guys here actually at the show, Louis and Corey. They do a lot of the day-to-day management, and they kill it. And then we have a sales team, Zach Kramer. You guys may have seen him on Instagram, but he does a lot of our sales and whatnot. And so it's just more the overall management, and then they take care of lots of the day-to-day stuff. But.
Nice. What do you find your biggest challenges? Like with that many crews, you're probably one of the bigger operations in your area, I would have to think. Have you got yourself fairly well known there, and your jobs are pretty easy to win, or what's your biggest challenge?
One of the challenges for us is, I would say, we try to pride ourselves in the product, and we pay a little bit more for the guys we have. They stick around for us for a long time, and our culture is a really, really big thing. So that makes our overall ticket price maybe go up a little higher than just a chuck in the truck. So it's a little bit harder for us. Not hard, but we just have to really, when we're out in front of a homeowner, we have to show the value of what we're pitching, because typically we're not going to be the same price. So that's why, a product like Deckorators, there's not very many companies in our area that use it, and it has some clear pros. So we kind of use that to our advantage.
Absolutely.
Do the selling.
Yeah, it's nice when you can kind of latch onto a product that you can use. It's almost kind of becomes your competitive advantage because nobody else is using it yet. That's kind of cool. Yeah. You guys do a lot of training videos and stuff too that I've seen that really kind of opened my eyes, because I don't think a lot of guys are doing that either. Yeah. Kind of that really formal training, kind of hands-on stuff in the video tutorials and stuff. How did you guys get there? Why'd that start?
So that started, kind of like what I was saying, this year's kind of stability to get, I don't know, the term we use is we're going to McDonaldize it. We're not necessarily going to franchise.
I did that when I built two every day. And it was like 7 cheeseburgers back to work. I was McDonaldized pretty good.
But we want to make it to where it's as easy as possible to grow. So we know that going forward, we've already seen and heard that it's hard to get good help and good labor. So we know going forward that'll probably get harder. And so we just thought, if we can get some training videos that are super, super simple and clear, that might be able to help that labor shortage 5 years from now as we expand into other locations and whatnot. So.
Yeah, for sure. As you onboard people,
exactly.
Right? It's like, sit down and watch this video. This is how I want my stuff done.
And we do weekly training, so it kind of helps as just a template where we can do one video a week maybe. That's kind of the goal going forward. So
good.
Nice.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sean, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
How do you feel this morning?
Feel excellent.
Good?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, I went to bed pretty early.
Yeah.
Got in the hotel about 4 a.m. Feeling great.
That is the definition of early.
Yeah. Maybe in Louisville, I think.
You beat the sun. Good job.
Maybe not how people read that initially, but that is early.
Yeah.
So you kind of roll things a little bit differently because you take care of the whole backyard, which is cool, and I love that concept. You're doing the patios, the pavers, the whole 9 yards back there.
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about that.
That kind of started just out of, we were kind of built the whole business on social media, and we kind of needed those finished pictures. So I started, doing the landscaping and kind of including that in all of our projects so that we could have those finished pictures as soon as we're done. And it kind of grew from there. And now it's, we're pretty small. We're a little bit of a different business model where we only do about 12 projects a year. So we can be super, super selective. And really the biggest thing for us is the creativity and making sure each project is has some really cool features in it.
Yeah, I think that's back when I was building. That was one of the most frustrating things all the time, is that the deck builder was usually the first guy in.
Yeah.
So when you get done your stuff, you want to take pictures, and there's just there's crap everywhere and mud, and the rest of the project's not finished. But yours, man, I've never seen you take an image that wasn't damn. The whole thing is very complete and clean looking.
And a lot of people just don't. They're not going to get back there a couple months later once the landscaping's done, once all that stuff's in, and get pictures. They just forget about it. And with social media, it's kind of like people want to follow what you're doing right now. So it's if you don't get pictures for a couple months, it's just there's a disconnect. So with all of our content, we try to, everything we do during the day, we're trying to upload the videos that night so people kind of see what we're doing on our stories. Then they can check out, kind of a more in-depth thing with the vlog, and it's very up to date. It's you feel like, hey, this is what we did today.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Any plans to Juanitatize your business?
Yeah. I feel like that's what we're doing. We don't want to be the McDonald's. We want to be the Juanitas. We want to be just one location, very small, but the best in the world.
That's it.
And just make people super happy.
Yeah.
That's the Juanitas way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where are you out of again? What?
Palmyra, New Jersey.
Okay.
Outside of Philly.
It's not on my list of travel destinations, but I kind of want to go to Juanitas.
I know. Yeah.
I want to go check it out now.
My main goal is to make Juanitas like the mecca of the deck industry.
Yeah.
So you've been crushing it on creating content, social media and stuff. You're really crushing it on the vlogs. You're on Instagram quite a bit. The YouTube stuff, pretty heavy on. Like
Thank
you're probably
you.
leading the way on that kind of thing. What's your kind of end goal for all this that you're doing right now? Is this just a brand play, or what's your?
Yeah, it's really I kind of did some self-reflection and realized kind of scaling. Just listening to Leif right now and Joe, it's like, man, that's not my skill set. So I knew that wasn't going to be, scaling wasn't going to be for me. And I wanted to just focus on the creativity and stuff. So I thought creating the content around our projects was a way to kind of, just scale in a different way. So it caters to my skill set a lot better, which is just kind of being creative. I like doing the video stuff. I'm on site every day, so I can be like the face of all the videos, which is cool. And it's just, how are we going to grow this? Because I'm not organized enough to scale the business, so we gotta figure out something else.
You've only got one Pat, right?
I know, yeah. Pats don't grow on trees, man.
No, they don't grow on
They
trees.
don't.
We've got one too.
Yeah.
He's not like yours, but
Yeah.
Joe, do you run multiple crews as well?
Yeah, we have employee crews, and then we have subcontractors that work for us too. Because we'll run about 6-7 projects at a time, and we do stamped concrete. We do pretty much everything but the landscaping. It's just that's to come. But a lot of projects we do. It's like a deck down to a patio combination, and so we offer that to our clients, and it's been a huge success.
Yeah, we don't on the retail side. We don't do anything with the landscape side, but there's another store in our market that's very similar to us. We know the guys. We're pretty good pals. We send customers back and forth if they're looking for each other thing. But we always have this.
Sean's been on the podcast, right?
Yeah, we always have a bit of a banter. And Sean, who owns the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop, always tells us, make sure that we know that the deck is only there to get to the patio.
Yes.
It's just a glorified set of stairs. Come on, man.
Good way to look at it.
The inferior portion of the backyard.
Yeah. So, how about the show? You got your way around yesterday?
Excellent.
Yeah, you love it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit scaled back from last year.
I was like, come on, address the size of it. Like, don't make me look like the bad guy every time. Right?
I don't know why, I guess a lot of people didn't want to come to Kentucky, but it's a lot more fun than Baltimore.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
It is a lot more fun.
But, I mean, I think it's cool that Decorators, they treat this like their big show, and this is where they unveil the products, which, most people are waiting for IBS, and it's a lot of deck builders aren't going to that, and it's, right. I think it's, this is for all the deck builders. This is, where you come to see new products. So
I agree. Yeah. This is a place where people should be releasing decking stuff,
yeah,
I think. But like last year, Fibron let some stuff out at IBS.
Yeah.
But when we were at Deck Expo, they're like, we have new stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see it till January. He's like, no, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the show.
For the next season.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
this year we pretty much sold by the end of February. We had sold up till like the end of September. So it's like, if you got new products coming out and I don't know about it till the end of January, like,
it's over.
Yeah, and we're hoping next year, like, the goal is to sell out the entire year by the end of February. Before we start, we want to be sold out. Put on our voicemail, hey, sorry, we're sold out for the year. Call back in December.
Call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing when you go down to IBS, especially for us, you do all your early buy and your winter planning like now.
Yeah.
Right now we're doing our bookings. The trucks are ready to go, and then they roll there. So you go to IBS and you get up to the booth, and some of the reps you don't know, they're like, "Come here, check this out. Look at this new board I got." It's like, dude, we forced you to show it to us 5 months ago because we already bought a truck of it. This is not new. But anyways, it's a timing thing.
It's good. So you guys are all pros with like the Decorators Pro, is that correct?
Yes.
All qualified for it? Mm-hmm. So why? What was each one of you, what was the reason? Why did you choose that?
Why did we choose it, or why did they choose to make me a pro?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
How were you chosen?
Yeah, how did it happen? I didn't know you were the chosen one.
I didn't know.
Did Joe know you were? You might be in trouble here.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's pretty simple. I had used almost all the deck boards on the market this year. We had been using another brand in past years, and then we kind of...
What were you using?
Different brand, and...
You can say the name. They know. It's like, yeah.
We were using Trex 100% last year, and, you know, we just wanted to see what else was out there. So we tried pretty much most of the boards on the market this year to find what we liked the most, and it's pretty simple. Deckorators is the best combination of scratch resistance and color options. I think those are the most two important things, and we tried a lot of the PVC, which I thought had amazing colors overall. Like, all the PVC brands have awesome colors, but the scratch resistance is just not what it needs to be. Like, I didn't feel comfortable recommending this on $50,000 projects. That, hey.
But next year, when they're only $10 projects.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're
no problem.
We're gonna start doing all of our decks pro bono and enter them all in the free category.
Do it for the awards, baby. Do it for the awards.
Profit.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Okay.
We've probably been using Deckorators for about the same as Joe, probably 3-ish years, or whenever Vault came out. The reason we switched is we had, and I know a lot of people have faced this and have overcome it, but the expansion and contraction in our area is pretty big. And so for us, the no expansion and contraction was a good feature. And when we just tried one deck, it was like, hey, this stuff is actually pretty cool. And we go back to a lot of our projects just to kind of do a little inspection. And we just noticed that there wasn't, like, it just was still performing really, really well. So that was one of the big things. And then I would say, honestly, though, the main thing was Shannon, our rep, and the people at Deckorators. I could instantly tell, like, there's something a little bit different about them, and in a good way, and it felt like they more fit our culture. And so it's just been super fun to work with them. And then at this show, working with Jace and all the others, it's been a smashing success for Deckorators this year, I think.
We felt the same way when they rolled into Regina and let us throw axes at their boards.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know that many people do that.
Yeah. It shows a little bit of confidence in your product, right?
And then even like we went to the Pro Summit last year in San Diego, and it's just kind of a roundtable thing where they're like, hit us with feedback. And there's some pretty brutal feedback, and this year, seeing everything they have changed, even with the new railing styles, like every change I see here with the color of the decking that they chose, the railing, the grooved racetrack, everything was feedback from the show, which they listened. So that's
huge.
That's huge.
If they're gonna ask for your opinion, then like take that feedback, right?
Yeah. So.
Decorators, I think, does an awesome job at that. I mean, just the 20-foot length, the slate border. I mean, no one else is really doing that. And
21, right?
21 foot. Yeah, most of them are 20.
Yep.
And it's like we want to align ourselves with a company that's kind of like-minded, where they want to be the best. They might not be the name brand, but they're gonna make their way in the industry by having the best product out on the market and kind of being innovative. I feel like some of them kind of start to target their lower cost deck boards and different markets. I feel like Deckorators is trying to be the best, and that's kind of why we wanted to be a part of that. It's like surround yourself with winners, right? That's kind of our philosophy.
So did you guys consider the labor, the labor portion of how they back you for your program as well?
That's amazing. I mean, to have a 25-year remove and replacement, I mean, I think that's what really sells it to our clients. I mean, just having that there, because I tell them, what's the point on, you could put a 1,000-year warranty on it. The framing's not going to last that long. You're only as good as, the framing you put it on. Yeah. So 25 years of realistic, labor warranty to have, associated with it. So.
And that was a factor for you guys, or you had already made your decision? Like, it didn't matter?
It was a little bit for me, but I think, especially like recently, people are going to like a 50-year, and you could have a 100-year warranty, but it's like, if it's going to fail, it's going to probably fail in the first like 3 or 4 years. So, it's really like, who's going to back you the most in the beginning? You know, it's like, hey, we have a 50-year warranty, but, you know, after 5 years, you know, you get 25%.
Yeah, it's a 60%.
You know. Yeah, so
60%
like,
depreciation in the first hour and a half.
So
I don't
so
want.
it's like, you know, any problem that we've ever had with any decking, it's happened in the first like 2 years, and I think that's, you know, if it lasts 10 years, it's probably going to last 50. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
One thing they do too is, I mean, they've helped my business grow. I mean, I feel like they're like here to help us, where a lot of the companies are just kind of, you know, they're there for you if you need them, but they actually reach out and say, hey, what do you need? You know, to me, just having that relationship, you know, really stands out.
So when you talk about having a Challenger brand is we'll use for everybody other than Trex, Fibron, and TimberTech, right?
Yeah.
You guys are coming up, so they're working harder.
Yeah.
It's not that Deckorators isn't known. People know who Deckorators is.
Yeah.
They just think they make spindles and post caps, right?
Yeah.
But when you start telling them, it's like, oh no, this is decking. They're like, well, I know the name, so you're already kind of like, you don't have to sell your customer on the name, but when they're helping you because they're trying to get into the industry, they're trying to grab some market share. Yeah, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think like the brand recognition matters at all. You know, when people say, hey, we want, you know,
Trex deck, right?
Trex.
Yeah,
Everything,
Trex
they call everything Trex.
They don't mean, hey, we want this brand. They mean, we want low maintenance.
I want to not stain it next year. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, you know, they don't know, hey, this is the brand we want. They just think that that's like, you know, that's
all
the name.
It's all one. It's just one broad name.
Exactly. It's like Kleenex. You know, it's like, you know, when you go to the store, you don't buy that brand. You buy like the store brand or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like when people come to me and we say, yeah, okay, so you want low maintenance. Here's the product that we use, and this is why we use it. And you know, I think I've never had any resistance selling whatever brand we believe in. It's not like, oh no, we want this. It's like they just want low maintenance, and that's it.
That's the thing. You've got quite a bit of influence. If they're talking and hiring to you, they're trusting your position on things for the most part. They're not so much questioning the brand. If they believe in you, they trust that you've done your own homework, and it's like, well, you're going to give me a good product.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Right? No great builders are putting in stuff off the boat from China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a good builder and you've got a good reputation, you're using good products as well. So
Exactly.
brand is very much secondary.
But if you're trying to get into that lower price point category, you might have to do some Chinese stuff next year, right?
Yeah, it's really cutthroat. I mean, we're really just changing the business model just to try to win awards now. Hopefully, it's going to pay off in the long run, but we're going to take some.
It's a long play. It's a long play.
Yeah.
Is this first year you've went in for the awards?
Yeah.
And Joe?
Yes, first year.
First year? And did you guys, were you in the awards at all?
We've never submitted. We've tossed it around some, and maybe next year we will. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've never really paid too much attention to it, but it'd be kind of fun.
I think it's certainly valuable to be able to put that on the wall, right?
Yeah. Well, and kind of like Joe said, just kind of using it for marketing. Even if you just do it one time, just to say you were a Nadra winner. Like
So
he's doing
it's in total truth, Shane entered an award 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I think.
But that didn't take first place, did it? And it was clearly that was.
No,
the
it did
one with
win.
the tree.
It did win.
First,
Yeah. It won People's Choice, and it won alternative deck under 25,000. Right?
25 to 50.
That was so awesome.
So he puts in one time, and when we're at the Nadra Awards last night, people were still asking, being like, "Yeah, you remember that deck that you won on?" And it's like, "Did you guys put a deck in this year?" It's like, "Dude, we haven't built a deck in 3 years."
Yeah.
Shane rolled in, built one deck, entered it,
That's awesome.
won it,
Mic drop, peace.
out.
That's awesome.
That deck, it's still an inspiration.
Yeah.
To me. I would love to build them like that someday.
You could. You
I
still
don't know
could.
which one you're talking about. Can you somebody pull a picture of?
You don't get many opportunities to do something like that. Customers don't exactly ask for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what happened was, are you working on it?
I don't even know. It'll be so far back in my feed. If you want to handle the
Okay,
talking,
I'll
for
handle
a
the
bit,
talking. Yeah, I'll do the talking. So what happened was he was building a deck for a customer. There's Justin was working on that one, right? You were on it most of the time. So there's a deck out on backing a lake or whatever, right? So you walk out in the lake. Across the lake, there's a valley, a couple like rolling hills, and a pine tree. And so Shane phoned the customer one day and was like, "Can I have some free range to just do whatever I want in this deck?" And the lady was like, "Wow." like within reason, right? Like I don't want your name on my deck. And he's like, right, yeah, no, I won't put my name on. So he built an inlay that had a pine tree and then curved some clubhouse into it with some rolling hills, and then did a
10-inch radius, right?
11. It started
11
with 9 and ended up couldn't get a 9-inch radius, and then ended up getting an 11-inch radius, and then some spines up with a sun. Yeah,
it was a gamble too, because like that, it wasn't a small inlay. Like, it was a full on.
It was like 50 feet long.
So it's just like, Shane, are you sure? Like, what if she's not cool with this? But yeah, she loved it.
I know I've told this story before, but if this project's coming up, we should probably tell it again, because she didn't bring up anything about putting my name in the deck at the time, and I didn't tell her anything about what we were doing. Just I said, you've got this giant like rectangle portion of the deck that's just like, it was non-variegated board, so it was just very plain. It needed something in the middle of it. It had the little pergola, whatever, but I was like, we got to put something in here. And then I had this idea of doing the landscape, the scene in it. So I didn't even tell you guys, I don't think, until like the day it was till we had to start heating boards. Is like, and I don't even know if I told you then, but we started marking on the deck.
Well, because we had to put it, like we did all the flat blocking previous.
Right, yeah. Had you guys blocking shit like crazy,
like the whole,
with no idea why.
Slab, the whole thing.
Yeah. Don't you think we should just put plywood over this?
But anyway, you'd be surprised to know that we didn't get that radius on the first try. So we had a bone, because we were trying to bend it on site. We had a boneyard of like 4 or 5 tries that didn't go so well.
We blasted through some boards, yeah. Absolutely.
And so just before, like 2 weeks before we did that, I had changed my logo from what used to be kind of a diamond shape, almost similar to what this is, to an infinity symbol, like an F that like swooped into an infinity symbol, like an F and a D for Fresh X. So she comes home comes to the cabin the one weekend, and she sees this pile of like number 9s, like partially curved circles. And that was the first time she got concerned about what I was asking her to do. And she pulls me aside. She's like, I feel like it might be too late, because I don't know if we'd start cutting things or maybe we drew stuff already. She's like, but like, I really like your new logo, but you're not putting it in my deck, are you? Like, what's those pile of 9s over there? They look like failed Infinity logo attempts. And I was like, no, it's not. That'd be ballsy. Like, but no. So, anyways, fun job.
But she was blown away. She loved it. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, at the end, because they weren't there. It was their lakefront property, like cabin. It was done before they ever saw it. They never saw the progress. It was like during the week we put all that inlay in, they show up and there's a mural in the deck. And
Did they love the mural?
Oh yeah, they loved it. Yeah,
really loved it.
They were pumped. And then of course we won the awards and they were pumped about that. And we've used that image on some of our marketing materials for the store now. And they've come by and they're like, "Can we get a copy of that?" So they're pretty proud of it. It was fun.
We kind of have like a lot of clients give us that same trust, and it's like, it's awesome. But you know, when you are just like, hey, can I have free range? You're like, man, I really got to knock this out of the park, because they're putting a lot of trust in me. So it's like, it's awesome when clients do that, but the pressure's on to really deliver.
Can you imagine not?
Oh man, yeah, I remember that.
Can you imagine not delivering if they show up, they're like, yeah, take it out.
Yeah, we don't like it.
Don't like it. Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow.
Did any of you guys do any of the educational sessions on yesterday or on Tuesday? Or have you in the past?
We had good intentions, and we actually had a couple of them that we were looking at.
Yeah.
And then
we had circled them, right? It was like I'm gonna go to this one.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, and then the show happened, and we never went to any.
Yeah.
No, to answer your question.
Okay. Sean, have you guys ever done those? Taken part of the educational seminars? I saw that. Your head was on a swivel there.
No, last year was the first expo I went to, and I just went for one day last year. And I was only here for a couple days this time, but it's, you know.
You are the educator.
Yeah, you should be.
It'd be cool to do, it'd be cool to do some classes, but I just knew if I signed up for them, I probably wouldn't go anyway. I was never good much for school or anything like that. So yeah.
So Kevin from NFDI, I think he registered for 3 or 4 courses. He showed up 15 minutes late into the last one. Like he spent $600 or whatever it was.
Half of a class.
Yeah, rolls in late. He's like, "Hey man, I missed the other ones." It's like, it's 3:30. What were you doing all day?
Well, I went to bed like 2 2 hours ago.
Yeah. He was carrying his DeWalt bag around.
Yeah.
I think the classes can be good. I mean, if you can pull one thing out of there that helps your business, I think it's worth it. I mean, it does cost a little bit of money to go, and it takes a little bit of time, but each year I come to these shows, I at least take something home with us that we can better our business with, and to me, that's why we do this. Just to, get to see the new products, meet, other guys in the industry, and take a few things home that's what it's all about for us.
Yeah. You guys are going to sit at a table and talk about different, like, how do you build a certain way, or how do you grow your business a certain way?
Yeah.
And you're like East Coast, Midwest, Pacific West, right? And you guys, like, you're not competing, so you can sit down and chat about
and we deal with the same frustrations day after. I mean, it's the same stuff. And
how do you get paid?
Yeah.
When your deck is done and that guy hasn't paid, what are you using? I actually came to Louisville to get a bat, custom made. I'm going to use it, called Bill Collector right on it.
I think that's like the biggest thing about this. Like, classes are cool and everything, but I think you're just gonna like learn more just from hanging out and talking to other guys. I mean,
100%.
All of like the best guys in the industry are here, and it's last year I felt like the biggest thing that I left with was just like I left super inspired to just build really cool stuff. It was like it was the first trade industry event I'd gone to, and just left so inspired. That was like the biggest thing I took away from the show, was just like the passion everybody has for what they're doing, and it
like affirms that you're not a weirdo, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, all you want to do is talk about building decking.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to build decks, and people at home are like,
cool,
dude,
man.
I built a wood door, and then I trimmed it out, and you're like, okay. I built this $100,000 kitchen. Oh yeah. And you're like, yeah, but what about decking? Yeah, that's the way to get to the ground. Then you come here, and everybody loves it, right?
But it's a bit of a culmination of the entire year's worth of social sharing that we all do through Instagram and what, right? Like meeting everybody face to face, you feel like you only see them once a year, for the most part.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that long in between because you've been chatting with them all year, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you kind of know everybody, even though we really don't.
Like, I was hanging out with Simon all week, and we had never met before, but it just, as soon as I got here, it was just like, yo, what's going on, man? Like, it felt like we were like old friends, but we'd actually never even met, It's weird.
But my favorite part is you don't call him Simon. You see him and you're like, hey, perfect view, Simon.
I know.
How are you?
Yeah,
Like Joe walks across the floor, I'm like, oh, hey, all decked out. What's up?
I think all decked out 513, is that what it is? Everybody's like known as their Instagram handle.
It's hard to hang out with Simon for too long, though, because he usually gets booted out of the place that you're hanging out at.
He's like a legend in this industry. He's like the rock star of this industry. Him and Kevin from Neighborhood Fencing.
That's right, yeah.
They're like just rock stars.
Yeah.
Kevin's been awesome to get to know.
Yeah, good dude. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things. We mentioned this in the podcast yesterday too, I think. But the first night we got in, a bunch of us went out for dinner at a restaurant, and we sat there and at one point Wade and I kind of like looked at each other like, look what's going on here right now. And it was Mike from Simcoe Decks and Kevin, right, from NFDI, sitting there showing each other like their processes and their quote forms and how they do things, and like here's what we include in our scope. It's like these two guys and they are from the same region, right? Like they're not that far from each other. But here it's just like, you know what, the barriers get dropped. Let's just help each other improve our businesses. There's a lot of decks that need to be built in Toronto.
Yeah. There's enough. Big enough. Cool. The pie is big enough for everybody.
Yeah, I think the like illusion of competition is just it's just an illusion. I mean, if you're building really good stuff and you're providing great service, there's more work than you could possibly handle. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
It's like no matter how many crews you have, it's like there's thousands of decks getting built in every area every year. So
there's such a demand for it.
So it's like
Instagram has been neat for that way because there's been so many contractors in Portland and Vancouver, many that we didn't even know, but that have gotten to know us and we've actually started to talk to. And it's like, yeah, you're competition and you're not necessarily maybe going to share pricing, but it's super cool to bounce ideas, talk about customers. And my dream someday is to hold like a huge meetup in the Portland area, and all the competition is there. Like I think you can still help each other. I think it's an awesome networking opportunity.
Yeah, it's
even in our market. I mean, I've had guys that worked for me that started their own business, and I feel like, other people have helped me get to where we're at. So it's the least I can do is to do what I can to help them. And if you act weird about it and act like they're competent, I mean, you just got to help out whoever you can help out, and kind of the market is so big. There's always going to be a demand for work. You're gonna have to separate yourself from that like competitiveness, even like locally. I feel like if you don't worry about it, you're going to be fine. And you
never know when they're sick of running their own company and they want to come work for you.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
That doesn't happen, does it?
Alexander Deck and Rail. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's just a stud of a guy. I would have never thought, and turns out he actually would rather just come work for a company. So it's like, hey, this works out pretty good.
Business kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Man.
Sometimes I'd rather flip burgers than
right? Get McDonaldized.
I started my own business just because I didn't really have anything else going on.
Because nobody else would hire me.
I was like, well, I don't really have that many skills to make any money doing anything else, so I guess I'll start my own business.
Yeah. I'm curious to ask you guys because you guys are the Deck. I mean, you guys do deal with a lot of different products and on a day-to-day basis. What has been your guys' thoughts of the show or just Deckorators and some of the new stuff they've came out with?
So we've told this story a few times too. We opened the store. This is our 4th year on the retail side of the business, and when we first opened, we were carrying the first ones we took stocking positions on were Trex, TimberTech, Fibron, Clubhouse, and I think at that time we had a little bit of moisture shield in the ground still. And the same distributor that we buy Clubhouse from is who took on Deckorators, and so when they took on Deckorators, they came to us right away and were like, "Hey, you could be buying this stuff too." And we're like, yeah, we're good. Like, we got a ton of brands in the wall. We don't plus at that time the groove was positioned a little bit different on Deckorators, so it didn't work with everybody else's clips. This is like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And so again, listening to people, they had adjusted the height of their groove so it would work with the universal fasteners a bit more. You didn't need a specific fastener for it. So that kind of removed one roadblock from why we didn't want to take it. But then when we kept saying no every year, it was like, hey, how about now? And it's like, yeah, but it's still, like, who are we going to drop? Which brand are we going to drop to bring yours on? That's kind of where we're at. And when the Voyage line came out this year, it was like, it checked off so many of the boxes that everybody else kind of struggles with. And so they just made it impossible to say no.
Yeah.
They showed up and it's like,
they're pretty good at doing that.
Best in class traction. That's pretty good. And like expansion and contraction for our market, you want to talk about?
Yeah.
You want to talk like I expand and contract in my market. Like, I'm 6 foot in the winter and I'm 6'3" in the summer. Like maybe it's the eating. Maybe I was the other way.
Yeah, it's the other way. It's like it's a 220 to 205.
I think we put on that winter bulk, that insulation layer.
But when you live in a market that's literally it's a 50-degree swing, like one direction or the other.
Celsius.
Yeah,
100-degree swing.
Yeah, I guess 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. So it's like expansion and contraction is huge. So to have a product that doesn't do that, I mean, it's huge for us.
So that was like they just made it really hard to say no. The colors are beautiful. They had some colors in our market that was like those will sell. There's no doubt about it that those will sell. So we got on board this year, and I don't even know how long it was. It was probably it was likely measured in weeks after we decided to commit to bringing some in that they showed up. Like they Jason Shannon booked their flights from Michigan and Toronto, wherever she's from, flew in to visit little old Regina store, and they show up. They've got Ox coffee boxes. They've got those Decorator sweaters with our logo badged on the shoulder and stuff. And it was just we've been in business for 4 years and sold tons of everybody else's product and never had this kind of excitement about us.
They've been great.
Yeah.
In return, right? And then went out and threw axes at their stuff. And we had a good time with them. It was just yeah, we can get along with these people.
So earlier you said, Leif, you had said relationships were important, right? And so we put Deckorators in our store because of the relationship we had with the distributor.
Yeah.
And as soon as we committed to that board, we immediately developed a relationship with the Deckorators people because they, Shane said, they flew out, and it's like you guys, you can sell anything. You can sell any board you want to sell. Right? So the game is all about relationships.
Yep.
Exactly.
Same as working with people. Who do you want to strive to be like? So you come to this show, you find out who those guys are, what they're doing, right? And so it's all all relationship based.
And if there's ever an issue, we want someone that's going to get it taken care of right away, not jump through hoops, sign waivers away. Just get us taken care of. That's all the customers want. That's all we want, so we can move on and go on to the next project. If, not saying we've had any issues, but just having a good relationship. If something happens, I know that they're going to be there.
Relationships can't be understated.
I heard it. I won't say names, but there's a competitor last night, and they were mentioning how they were asking, I think it was Chad or one of the Deckorators folks, like, is this normal? Like it seems like you guys all get along so good. And it wasn't just the Deckorators people, but it was just like there's contractors, decorators, some of the guys from, is it Mountain View? Building. And everyone was just getting along so good. And he's like, it's a family. That's really what it boils down to. And she's like, wow, I wish we had that. So it was just kind of cool, I thought.
Yeah.
It's like a brotherhood.
Yeah, I mean, like, good people are good people. I don't care how you make your living for the most part, right? Like, and a lot of times there's people who've like moved from one company to the other.
Absolutely.
So why burn bridges? You could be working for that company.
Well, and most
3
of
years,
us, and almost everybody's working hard to make people happy. That's what we all do for a living.
We can learn. We can learn from each other more than if we just kind of open up and talk. So, what else you guys got? You want to chat about anything else? Anything on your minds you wanted to kind of bring to the podcast today?
I think what you guys are doing is awesome with the podcast, and it's really taken off, and it kind of gives us another outlet in the industry. So I appreciate everything you guys do, and
thank you.
Proud of you guys.
We'll have to get each of you on again on the podcast, kind of with your own dedicated episodes. So you don't have to. You guys have been looking at each other and giving some pretty mean eyes at points here. So probably scared to talk a little bit.
Leif, you'd asked what we saw at the show and what the value in the show is. And so it's going to be, again, relationships. I don't know that we come here anymore to find new products. But you can find the new products on the internet. Right? They'll show up on Instagram, or they'll show up, or your rep will bring it to you. You know what I mean? Somebody in your area is going to deliver that to you. So it's just nice. The show is good for us, for mostly because of the relationships, right? I'm not coming here and having my earth rocked with some product that I didn't know was coming, right? I don't think that's the way it is anymore. It might have been when we first started 4 or 5 years ago. And
it's kind of funny. I find myself, like, leading up to the show, I'm not looking at the vendor list. I don't go to the website and be like, oh, who's going to be there? I'm asking my buddies on Instagram, hey, you going to Deck Expo? And when they say no, it's like, oh, dude, like, make it happen. Find a way down there. So, it's awesome. Anything else, guys?
I don't have anything.
Chad he looks like he has something to say. But
get on your Chad.
Does anybody want to go karaoke right now?
We could do it right now.
The pirate.
little Eye of the Tiger, maybe.
Decorators mount up.
Okay, well, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down with us this morning, chat a little bit about Decorators and your businesses and whatnot. And the invite's there if you guys want to do a phone-in interview at some point on the podcast and spend some more time.
Awesome. So much great.
Let's do that. That'll be fun. So
maybe when
number one deck podcast in the world.
Number one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that. It's like being the best McDonald's. There's only one McDonald's. So, anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of the show. Appreciate you guys. Take care, everybody. We'll be back in a few hours.